Um, I think we were born to imitate. We're we can't avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. When you're born, you're imitating. You know, I mean,
Hmm.
you just learn from the people around you, and you follow your parents, and then you
Hmm.
follow people in school. You follow the people in authority. Um, you can't get away from it. I mean, it's just that's how you're born to be. And even like my all my kids, they're imitating me, and that's why they always say that the best leader is the one that leads by example. So
Hmm.
when you're leading an example, people are supposed to imitate you so then they could better themselves. Um,
Yeah.
but this goes into a really good topic because I was thinking about this the other day. I wanted to make a video about this anyway. My thing was saying, it came up to my mind, like I was saying that, you know how if you have a master that you're following, essentially imitating, like you you basically, in my eyes, you wish that he wouldn't die, that you could keep following him and keep imitating him or whatever, so then you could keep progressing. You have someone to follow, you know. But
Yes.
but to me, I think of it like your father. Like if you love your father or your mother, like you wouldn't want them to die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you want them to keep living. Like you wish that they could keep living so you could keep being guided by them. You know, it's always a benefit. It's like it makes your life so much more at ease. You know, like and you want them to keep living, and that's kind of how I feel with the martial arts. It's like if you got a martial art master, you always want him to be ahead of you. You always want him to be better than you so you can keep following him, you know. But like you know, it's like, but there might come a time when your father dies before you, or you might die before your father. But say your father dies before you, which is typically the case. Then
Hmm.
you're forced to do your own. You know, you're forced to kind of lead yourself in a way, and that to me is kind of like the martial arts. It's like you want to follow your master, but for whatever reason, you know, you can't follow him anymore. He ends up dying or whatever, or you end up moving far away or whatever. Then you're kind of forced to kind of find your own way. And finding your own way is kind of like being yourself and not imitating. And obviously, spiritually, that's a very important thing. But I think that it takes probably decades to get to that point where you can like lead yourself. And even after a long, very long time, after many decades, you're still not going to be like, you're still going to take a lot of time to get to the point where you're actually comfortable like leading your own path, or you know, being your own light. But then you end up becoming like the father that passed away. Now you become a light for other people to follow and imitate in a way.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, you know, I'm really into Osho's teachings, and he's always talking about being yourself. Bruce Lee's talking about being yourself, and you know, all these, you know, like Socrates and Buddha, everybody's talking about being yourself, but Buddha himself, you know, obviously was a very big follower of Buddha, you know, or I mean, Osho himself was a very big follower of Buddha, you know, and Bruce Lee was a follower of other masters like J. Krishnamurti and Buddha and stuff like that too.
Hmm.
So, um, you know, you know, even after the age, you know, you consider like, you know, you consider an adult at the age of 18, but typically people like still don't even consider you an adult until you're 21. But if you meet a lot of 21-year-olds, you can see that their minds are still like very immature. Like they still aren't really there yet, you know. And a lot of times people go to school and you know they go to college until they're at least 21. You know, because after high school you're 18, and by the time you graduate, by the time you graduate college, I mean you're like 20, 21, 20, like 22 years old, and then you haven't even really worked yet, like a real job. You know, so even by the age of 21, you're still not really that capable of like leading yourself. You know, like you probably won't even get to that point until you're in your 30s or maybe even 40s before you're like truly feel like you're capable of like leading yourself. You know, you pretty much be.
But another question I have about this is why is that when they don't get matured at the age of 21? What's the reason why they're not